So as we saw, we were able to run the React navigation in the iOS simulator, and it would also run in the Android simulator as well. So let's see how it works onto the web. So if you open the web browser, we can see that it's already working without doing anything. So this part is coming because we had specified in the navigation options that we want a header style to be like this, of this color, and it takes this much of space. If you want to put some title over here, you can also do that. So for instance, let's say you want to have some title over here. What you need to do is you go onto the screens, and in the title option there, you can simply say that the title is feed or anything that you want to output there. So let's just try this one. So title is feed. Let's see if it does anything. So in the feed, it prints it over here. And similarly, if I do this and make it as profile screen, or you can write anything here, it would start showing that stuff. This back button is coming because this is the second screen in the Stack Navigator, and there's one before it. So anyway, so we can see that uh, the React navigation is correctly integrated onto the web, but there's one problem here. So what if we went to the feed screen and the user refreshes the page? We can see that the user is again coming to the profile screen itself and not really going to the feed screen. To go to the feed screen, you have to again click on this button and then only move to that screen. So with web, or for with any web navigation system, we want to have this uh, ability in which if a user is directly going to a link, we should be presenting him with that particular screen itself and not really the home screen. So that's the basic feature that every navigation library should have. So let's see how React navigation provides that support. So if I'm not wrong, there are ways in which you can do it. So you can simply put something like path here inside the screen itself, and you can say uh, and path is not an object, path is simply a string, and you can say that what path this screen should be rendering. So since profile is the default screen, we can have path as empty, and for feed screen we can put something like this. Let's see if this changes something over here. Actually nothing changed. Let me go back again. So it says that the path option is supported, just that it's not really okay. So I think what we might be doing wrong is that in the button we are not really passing any params. So it doesn't really know what to put in the path. Uh, so let me clarify what I'm thinking. So path would be used for something like, let's say if a user is going to slash feed, or if the user is entering base URL slash feed in the browser and then pressing the enter button, then this navigation library would know that this is the component that it should be rendering. So uh, it would know that exactly feed component should be rendered. But if the user is directly coming to the profile page and clicking on this button, then with this feed option, it just knows which screen to go to, but whether the path needs to be updated or not is something that the navigation library won't do it by itself. So for that, we have to probably pass some other parameters into this on press function, or we need to use the link library, which is or the link util, which is provided by the React navigation itself. So those are the two options. Let's see which way this works. So let me just uh, put this one here. And this link is being exported from React Native, React Navigation slash web. Let me simply copy this over. Let's just run and see if this works. But basically, my IDE is saying that link is not recognized. But let's see if this is also crying about the same stuff. Okay, and it's because of this one. Okay, so it says that link is not defined, which which is fine because it's not defined. uh, we need to see where to export the link from. Now everywhere I can see that it says that link is exported from React navigation slash web. We need to also install this one, which is React navigation web. Now create browser app is also imported. Now let's see what changes with this. Okay, so the browser app is like this, but it's not changing anything really. But it's just that with create app container, it was working in the app as well. But with create browser app, the simulator is saying that browser history needs a DOM. So that means that with create browser app, it's not possible to run in the app. But you can always do tweaks like if the platform is this, then export this one, otherwise export the other version. So all of that is possible. But let's just first focus on making this work in the browser and with a slash thing appended. So what we can do is that instead of button, we can have a link, which we already had. And now we can import that link from React navigation slash web. Now this link says that you have to go to the feed page, we can paste the same in profile. Something interesting happened. I clicked on this one. It took me to the feed slash page. So I'm on profile right now, and I clicked on feed, so it should take me to the feed page, and the feed page has this appended in the path. So let me just remove this one maybe. Yeah, cool. So you cannot really have a slash in the front. And if I go to profile, so you can see the URL which is changing. Let me make it bigger. So if I click on profile, it takes me to the profile. If I click on feed, the URL also changes. Now let's do one more thing, and which is the refresh of this one. If I refresh, it takes me directly to this one, and there's no back button because there's nothing in the history. If I go to profile, since I so you see the stack behavior also got changed. Interesting. So let's go back and try to make it also work in the app, because in the app it's not working right now. So we are not really taking advantage of the same code base running in all the platforms. So let's go here and try to see if what really happens in the browser with app container. Let's see, the text must be rendered inside the text component. So it's not really recognizing link, and uh, that's the reason it is breaking here. But let's with create app container, let's see how it works in the web. So it looks like the create browser app isn't really adding any value as of now. So create app container is good enough. Uh, create app container is good enough. Let's try to uh, do. Let's try to make it work with the link component as well. So the one thing that we can do is uh, React Native also comes up with another module which is platform. So you can do things like platform.os. So with React Native, we can actually get to know which platform it is. If it is web, it is Windows, or if it is web, iOS, Android, or all the platform that React Native supports. So what you can do right now is you can do something like is web platform.os equals to, not really sure about the casing here, but it should be like this maybe. Let's just go here, require platform. Cool, let's just try. So what we'll do over here is if it is web, then we'll render, or if it is not web, then we'll render this button, else we'll render this one. And same we'll do with the profile component. If it is web, So let's just check in the browser first. So we should not see the first link, so it automatically got refreshed. uh, let's see how it works in the simulator. Awesome, so it is working in the simulator as well because we did the if else check here. Now I've also realized one interesting stuff, which is if I click on the profile, the URL isn't really changing. Let's try to do it with create browser app. Okay, so this create browser app is actually changing the URL, whereas create app container isn't. So that's the reason create browser app exists, or that's one of the reason create browser app exists. So let me do two things here again, the way we did in the profile and feed screen. We'll do app container, and we'll do browser container, and in the if else check part we'll do if it is web, then we'll return the browser container, else we'll return the app container. And this is what we need to do. Now let's just see if it is working fine in the simulator as well. Interesting, it is not working. It's crying in home.js line number 27. Or maybe we are, since we are trying to create everything here, we don't need to explicitly create it. So instead of assigning it in a variable, we can put it directly in this statement itself. So this the other statement won't even run. Cool, it's working. So I hope you realized what really happened here, because even if it was an app, we were trying to create a browser container, whereas in this case, it won't even run this statement. So finally, we are able to run React navigation onto the app and also onto the browser. This is how it works. In the in next videos, we'll see what else React navigation provides, like tab navigations and switch navigators, and how to integrate the same thing onto the web as well. Thank you.